All right, guys. So we'll be watching Joe Rogan Can't Save His Friends Anymore comedy Nuke by the American Redact.
Maybe it's not a coincidence that this machine I can't turn myself away from. Maybe it's not a coincidence that this machine is also called the Apple. Thank you very much.
Comedian, podcaster, and accused predator Bryan Callen recently tried to revive his comedy career with his latest special, False Gods. And to no one's surprise, it bombed horrendously. Like, it was so bad that it doesn't even do it justice to call.
Here's the thing, I haven't seen it. I'm gonna confess to you guys, I have not seen this special at all. I don't know what it's about. I'm gonna just do like a blind viewing of this, right? The last time I saw Bryan Callen's comedy special, probably it's something to do with apes or something like that. Educated apes, I don't remember. It's all right. It's okay. I don't know. Since Bryan Callen now has this aura around him, ever since the whole Bobby Lee situation, it's harder to kind of sort of see him in a different light. Especially also with Brendan Schaub and all the other characters that he gets with. We also saw him grift to the right, trying to buddy up with Steven Crowder. And what happened there? Nothing. Something was supposed to happen there, but I guess, Steven Crowder had his own problems, right? So it kind of just stopped, I guess, the whole process. I don't know what it was or what it would have been, but it didn't go anywhere, right? But maybe that wasn't Bryan's fault. But this comedy special that he did, I don't know, is this the end for him? Or, I mean, as the title says, Joe Rogan can't save any of his friends, but what does that have to do with the comedy special? I don't know. We'll just find out, right?
Call it a bomb. It was more so an Austin comedy mothership nuke. So terrible that it officially placed him on the Mount Rushmore of hacks, right next to his best friends Joe Rogan and Brendan Schaub. But what made it so bad wasn't the constant air humping or the jokes about being secretly gay. Those are all Bryan Callen's signature jokes that no one's really surprised to see. What truly made this such a terrible watch was that it was so obviously tailored to the style of comedy at Joe Rogan's mothership. It was the epitome of the Austin trans brain disease that Stavros Halkias hilariously described on his podcast. And it was honestly pretty satisfying to witness in real time, because up until now, it was merely a rumor that Austin's comedy scene was an anti-woke, homophobic wasteland that platformed some of the worst comedians alive. But now that it's all on tape, we can finally understand what guys like Shane Gillis, Bobby Lee, and Mark Maron were.
I'll be honest though, I haven't seen the worst of the worst, right? I don't think they show those guys. The standard people that go out there are, what is it? The Kill Tony guys at best are the ones that are kind of, all right, but beyond that, the ones that are a little too edgy, I think they keep them in the closet,
talking about this whole time. Because during the last 10 minutes of this special, Bryan Callen goes on this weird long rant about trans people, admitting that he's scared of them and that he doesn't think they deserve to be labeled as minorities. And he starts off joking about it, but it quickly turns into a pretentious, serious speech without any jokes.
I walked into a coffee shop right here in Austin, right here, and behind the counter was a young person making espressos, and it was a man. I mean, I don't know how he identifies. I don't want to, but he had a beard, a pronounced beard, and he was also wearing a lovely summer dress, lovely. But it had straps, a floral pattern. It stopped above the knee. And so I thought that I had all these thoughts. And then I had my old guy thoughts. I couldn't believe it.
The thing is have I seen a person like that in my life? I live in California, so, what is it? The stereotype is that in California, everybody has some weird sort of fashion sense, right? But honestly, I don't know, I have never really seen somebody like that is comically or stereotypically looking like a trans person transitioning. I don't know, at that phase he was able to witness somebody just transforming right in front of his eyes, right? But I don't know, I've never had that. I don't know, it's never happened to me. I've met a trans person, right? But they're a giant minority in the US and throughout the world. They're they're kind of like unicorns in a way. They're kind of mythical.
It looked like chaos to me. It looked scary. It triggered me. It did. I was like, this is cats and dogs living together. You can't just decide you're going to wear a dress. What the fuck, you know? It's like, how are we going to compete with China, you know? Like, I went through these stupid thoughts. I was like, we got to bring back the draft maybe now, you know? And that was all fear, and I just couldn't get it. And it's like, it's the new hippie, the new punk rock. Maybe also just being older and seeing all these.
The new punk rock, right? You ever heard of glam rock? Dude looks like a lady, basically. Trying to just steal from Aerosmith there, but we've always had those type of people. It's not new, right? They've always kind of sort of existed in this world, and to make it feel like, oh, this is the first time I've ever really like seen one in the wild. It's all right. Get over yourself a little bit, brother.
Young kids who probably majored in equality, and you know, and I'm just it's not my generation, and he's wearing a dress and a beard, and it just looked like a revolution. It looked like change that I wasn't included in.
And really, the only hilarious part about this rant is that
it's like a Barnum and Bailey act, right? Like, you only could see that at the circus. You ever seen a woman with a beard? You only could get that type of show in the circus, you know, or YouTube. I don't mean it like that. Like, it's just a joke.
you can barely hear anyone laughing, maybe a handful of people at most. And mind you, these are the same people that watch Kill Tony unironically, okay? So not even the most conservative, Trump-loving crowd in the world find this funny. And on top of the fact that this particular audience was extremely right-winged people, what makes it worse is that they also happen to be Bryan's own friends and family. Like back when Callen talked about recording this special, he literally listed off who was in the audience, naming some of the most conservative, gun-loving influencers you could possibly imagine.
I saw everybody. Everybody came to the show. So flattering. Michael Malice and Lex Friedman and Nicky Rod and
but this is the thing though, right? Like, you can keep, circling around who are these like right winger guys, right? Sure, right, they're right wingers, but isn't Texas like sort of like now like a purple state, right? Like, it's mixed. Like, there's some liberals out there now. You can't really say they're all fully all of his whole crowd is Republican. You're gonna make that assumption up. It's like you're gonna it's probably gonna not be like 100% accurate. There's gonna be like, without a doubt, there's gonna be one or two, right? Every one of them can't be Republican. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, is like American Redact trying to make that assumption that every one of the people in the crowd is Republican? Like, there has to be one or two, right? Like, let me know, guys. Come on, in the chat. What do you guys think?
Catherwood.
Gordon Ryan.
Mike Catherwood,
of course. Our boys from Drinking Bros, Dan Holloway.
Love them.
Dan Crenshaw came. Tim Kennedy came.
Timmy came.
Evan Hafer from Black Rifle. It was literally everybody.
Our crew came out,
It was so cool, man.
So the fact that not even the majority of the audience was laughing here really tells you how strange and off-putting this whole thing was. It was almost like Callen was trying to relate to them with how hard he was going on the anti-trans stuff here, but he went so ham.
Yeah, what do they call it? Pandering to the crowd, huh? Also, what do they call it also? It's literally an echo chamber, an echo theater.
On the topic that not even the Black Rifle Trump supporters could relate, especially when Callen goes on to insinuate that the whole trans movement was pushed by major corporations, who, according to Callen, essentially made Caitlyn Jenner an industry plant and forced poor victims of the movement like himself to comply with their narrative.
Well, I don't know it's very interesting to me because it kind of happened. Well, it happened 2015 when Bruce Jenner had an 8-hour operation. And he woke up Caitlyn Jenner. And then a minute later, he won Woman of the Year. And that, I remember that. That was crazy. And I remember I was just a bunch of like conservatives and traditional.
That was a wacky year. And also in that same year, didn't she like run over people or something like that? Like, allegedly, I guess.
Americans, I was like, I have some questions, And we quickly found out the time for questions was over, bigot. This has all been settled science. We don't need your voice. We saw what you did to the other minorities, Whitey. And I was like, what? And, because her support system was very, very strong. I mean, and vast. I mean, I'm talking about, well, I don't know, let's see. All of the fashion industry, all of Hollywood,
Did he work on this material? Is this just like off the top of his dome right now? He's just making shit up. I would think that if you get you do your special, you're gonna have your bullet points
all of corporate America, all of legacy media, all of big tech. And that's a formidable group of people. They can make or break you. And so suddenly it was like the feelings became sacrosanct, new for my generation. If you were talking about feelings in my generation, you better be, if you were talking about how something felt, you better be talking about shoes, bitch. But this was different. This was new. And by the way, this wasn't just about protecting feelings. This was about saving lives. So that's why if you had any naysayers, they had to be de-amplified, de-emphasized, de-platformed, defunded, destroyed. So you better be careful. So be on the right side of history.
Bryan, name 5 trans people that you care about or know about. Probably can't. Well, what's her name? That runner person that ran over people. Well, Callen Kardashian, right? I don't know. Who else? The person from Orange Is the New Black. What's another trans person? The person that that swam, right? And then they wound up being 3rd place. Like, I don't know. It's not like a cultural impacty worthy kind of thing. Like, Dave Chappelle did this like 6-7 years ago. This is dead, like, hot topic kind of stuff, right? It's done, dude. Like, you're a little late to that party of trashing on the trans, right? Or not? Am I wrong, guys, or what? Like, are we still gonna be trying to make them some sort of problem? Like, they exist, and that's why our lives are shitty. Like, they don't affect me. Like, I don't understand why. Like, what do you think that they like play a part in your life? Not really. I don't think so. Not in my life. In your guys' life, you ever gotten jumped or something by all these like trans? Like, you ever got jumped by a trans group of people? Like, I don't know. Like, what's the issue there?
And then it makes a turn for the very worst, as he suggests that trans people don't deserve to be minorities. But before watching that, I need to remind you guys of just how much Joe Rogan promoted this with Bryan Callen on his podcast, on 2 separate occasions. Like, Rogan painted this like it would be Callen's big break, as if he'd be selling out arenas across the country after this were put out.
A 9
That's what you need. That's what you need, Callen.
You do. It's very important.
Your special kicks it, and you start selling out giant theaters.
Dude, let's go, baby.
Let's get a little in your life.
Yet the official special...
The thing that I'll take away from that is that, hey, you need a guy like Rogan to back you up. That's the only perspective that I see there. Like, wow, what a good friend. Joe Rogan is there to be very supportive of his. No, Joe Rogan knows Bryan's special is probably shitty. I mean, come on. You think Bryan Callen was like, this is my masterpiece? This is my David, what's his name? Michelangelo, this is my Sistine Chapel. Just another cash grab for old Bryan here. And I think he's kind of running out of material now, or he's just out of touch now, I guess.
Barely cracked 200,000 views 2 weeks after being released, which by all means isn't a small number, but considering how much Rogan force-fed this to his massive audience, it doesn't seem like much. If anything, it just points to Joe Rogan having close to zero influence on the comedy world anymore. Like, the days where comedians could go on Joe Rogan and instantly sell out arenas the following year are absolutely over. And it's almost like even Rogan knew this, but was trying to do the most he could for Callen out of pity for an old friend. An old friend who, might I add, was accused of some pretty heinous things in the LA Times not too long ago. And I don't know if you guys read that or not, but Bryan Callen's allegedly done some horrific things to countless women. And the worst part about that is that he found it all completely hilarious. Like the time when Whitney Cummings detailed a story about when Callen exposed himself to her alone together in a car. Bryan found that to be absolutely hilarious.
The funny thing about it is, like, yeah, I did that shit. He like confessed to it. Like, he didn't think that this was gonna be such a big deal, but then when other women were like, yeah, he also did this to me, and I felt more comfortable. But Whitney Cummings, she was like, this is the type of stuff that you got to do, to get through in the comedy world and to be successful. You got to just take shit. And that's the dark side, like that's the dark shit of the entertainment business, that you got some greasy fucking shady dudes out there trying to take advantage of a woman, right? Because women don't get really credit for anything, or they get overlooked by even the regular audience. They need to be kind of like out there and have more exposure than most, because they like, most of the times when they try to, they just get swiped, right? And the only way for you to, or them to, like, basically show their talent is to do some favors. And that's the dark thing about it. And it's messed up too, but once it came out like that, and that, oh, Bryan Callen was sort of also participating in that, it's like, ish, that's, you're not a good guy, man. Like, shouldn't have done that, or allegedly, I guess.
Am I allowed to tell the story of when you really sexualized me?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
don't
that
know the
story.
story. I think
I've heard this.
Yeah.
We were, there was this place called Westwood Brewing Company. I would go to try to do like 4 minutes in front of 3 like drunk college girls, and then you would try to have sex with those 3 drunk college girls.
Sure
Good
would.
system.
After I had
Sure would.
after I had bombed in front of them.
El Dirtbag over here.
And then one time we like left. It was like a Tuesday at like, it was only like 7:30, and you were like, "Can I get a ride in my car?" And I was like, "Sure." And you got in the car, and I literally like turned the wheel like to like look where I was going, and I turned around, and your dick was out.
Hey.
The old peekaboo. Call the old peekaboo.
So yeah,
Just like, remember? Gotta laugh about it. What else? At that time, either the whole hashtag Me Too movement wasn't out there yet, and nobody really cared at that time, right? And then later, the consequences come in, and boom, Callen sort of self-confessed on this being real, right? But you try to make it funny, right? Like, try to like laugh away the trauma. But when it's like one time, it could be a joke at best, it's like, for the most part. But then if multiple people come out and be like, yeah, he did that to me too, and he did that to me too, and me too, and me too, and then hashtag Me Too fucking arrives, and it's too late for you, bud, right? And then also you lose your shine on being funny, because that weighs on you, right? Bryan Callen, those allegations slowed him down, made him older. It aged them, right? Like, it does play a part on you. And now I feel like, this episode's gonna be sad a little bit.
while you watch the rest of this terrible anti-trans rant from this special, just remember that this is also a downright slimy human being who doesn't even have any shame for anything he says or does. Because a lot of people, and even comics, would be completely humiliated to say what he says next here. Because he implies that white trans people shouldn't get to call themselves minorities, which is just insane on so many levels. It's like he thinks being a minority is a decision and not a result of people like him hating on them for decades.
Yeah. But I was looking at this kid with the dress and the beard, and I thought, I'm probably looking at a white minority, which is wild. You can be white and you can be a minority now. And that's wild. And it's very unique because, for black people and brown people and indigenous people, for them to become minorities, they had to go through hundreds of years of brutal colonization and slavery. But now you can have blonde hair and blue eyes, be white as the driven snow.
Yeah, he's mixing up the minority, like being white, like all of a sudden, yeah, you're white and that doesn't make you a minority. But white and trans, that makes you a minority. But mind you that trans they've always existed. The Nazis also went after them too, including not only were the Jews and whomever, it was the gypsies and the blacks. They went after all the minorities, bro. Like gay, bi, lesbian, those are still minorities anyways. You just because you're white, it doesn't make you a level higher of a minority, or like it doesn't make sense what he's even talking about. You're a minority if you happen to be that. You just all of a sudden, now that you're white and you're a minority because like most people are straight, they're not gay or trans or from the rainbow, right? Like it doesn't make sense. Like his comedy is like or whatever he's trying to make fun of or whatever he's trying to make sense of, it's ignorant. I thought Bryan Callen was supposed to be a little bit more smarter than that. At times, like when I used to watch him at, you know, in the Finding the Kid, he would say sometimes he would say some smart things, but this is just seems kind of like ignorant. He's trying to talk into this echo chamber that is Texas.
And you can be a minority on the same level because you feel like one. That's hacking the system, baby!
And after he says this, he ironically accuses trans people of being grifters, while literally at the same time grifting for everyone on stage and embarrassing himself.
I'm not saying there aren't real trans people. That's not what I'm saying here, because there are. I'm just saying there are grifters in every community. I was thinking about that too, as I looked at that kid's shoes. And I thought to myself, damn, I think I've been getting ready for the wrong enemy, because I've been waiting for the grid to break down. That's why I practice jujitsu. That's why I have guns. That's why we live in Texas, right, guys? That's why, right? Yeah! You got access to a well. You got access to a well. Your garage is a CrossFit gym in case you got to climb.
But what if there's a trans person in that well? What are you going to do? Right?
Row, you know, and the stairs break down in the apocalypse. I don't know what you're looking for, but either way, you got a freezer full of game meat.
Despite Joe Rogan and his loyal army of butt sniffers refusing that the comedy mothership is an anti-woke hellhole, Joe Rogan's best friend just proved all of the critics to be exactly right. And so now when you read something online about this comedy scene, you just have to assume that it's true. Like this user's post from Stavros Halkias' subreddit talking about their personal experience at the mothership, writing, "I went to Joe Rogan's comedy mothership this weekend, and it was the worst night of comedy I have ever experienced in my life. There were 7 performers, and every single one of them used the R word and F slur multiple times. It wasn't a one-off I'm edgy joke either, it was their entire act. A recurring theme throughout the night was reminding us that we didn't have our phones, implying that we might as well laugh and admit that we agree with their belief that anyone who isn't a straight white man is inferior." So now that Bryan Callen pretty much did exactly what this user wrote about, the rumors have got to be true. Every time a comedian performs in front of those very ugly blue curtains in the Fat Man room of the mothership, they're 100% going to make some of the laziest, low-hanging fruit jokes about anyone who's not a straight white male. But anyways,
it's like a retirement home for the comedians, you know, put them out to pasture. Let them think that they're doing something, and it's just all hacky shit. Honestly, like the whole trans stuff, like it's not like if you're a regular person, none of that shit affects you at all. I'm not losing my job to a trans. I'm not losing my girlfriend or my boyfriend or whoever it might be, right? Like I don't see a lot of trans people working either. Like I rarely see them. Like for you to think that these people or this minority group is a hazard to your life, inconvenience or disturbance, it's a weird thing. Right? Like, nah, man, like it's just like a cheap thing to do. And I get what American Redact is saying is just like, you're just gonna just come to Austin and get the cheapest laughs because these are the most, and I don't even want to say most of the crowd is that though, like, you know, I don't want to say like the crowd is like depraved and racist and that shit and stuff like that, because I've said, I don't want to assume that the whole crowd is happy with the bits and the material that Bryan Callen is talking about. Like I don't think everybody in there is what he thinks that they are. People are very diverse, right? Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
The cherry on top of this whole disaster of a comedy special was when Bryan Callen reacted to it on his podcast with Brendan Schaub, essentially admitting that his whole career has been a flop. And then funnily enough, Brendan tries to cheer him up by saying that comedy specials don't even matter nowadays, which is just a hilarious cope when you realize that that's the only thing comedians are working on all year.
Driving because I was doing some
because my
car
feelings
stuff.
are hurt so bad. Like like I put out this special and nobody, it doesn't matter, right? Like in a way it doesn't matter.
Specials aren't special anymore.
They're not special. Nobody watches it. It's
But
not gonna make
that's
a
what you need.
And it's funny to hear that from Brendan of all people, because none of his specials are at all special. It's all just cheap shit, right? Like you don't even try. Like there isn't really something there. Like you just do it for the money, and you don't work for it. You don't work to make yourself better. You just throw it out there like spaghetti on a wall, and hopefully it sticks there.
You understand, like
It doesn't matter.
like and I'm towards the end of it, like that that medium of like specials used to be special. Well, now they've just lost their significance. And I'm not saying your special is not important. It's important. But what I'm saying
to me it is, but it's not.
To me and you and like
noise.
some of the older heads, it's important. But in this day and age, like to ask someone to sit down and watch an hour of stand-up
ain't happening.
it's just not the way the game
I don't
works.
blame 'em.
I know, but it's, and I'm not saying it's right. It fucking sucks.
Nothing's like
I
that.
don't know what to do, but
It hurts my feelings so bad, and
The thing is they can't relate to people. Maybe they could have related like years ago, right? Like some of their old material, like that they did, their old specials, it had some sort of value at that time, right? It's a hot topic thing, and it's the current trends at the time. It doesn't work now. You gotta be quick. You gotta honestly know what you're doing. Like I've seen like Matt McCuster's recent one. I saw that one with a friend and we were laughing. Like it was funny. Shane Gillis is also funny. Like there's some specials that are good. To think like you're in that general like I guess talent. No, you're not. That's why it doesn't work for you guys. You guys suck. You guys can't relate to nothing. You guys just live in this bubble. That's why you just can't. That's why you guys can't make good comedy. Your comedy doesn't hit people.
it makes me
but
mad.
it's not a Bryan
fucking me
Callen
up.
problem.
It's not, is it?
That's what I was trying to tell you yesterday. It's not a Bryan Callen problem.
Yeah.
Everyone's dealing with it.
Right. I felt so terrible for the past like 2 days, like terrible. But like I had a set last night at the mothership, like I said, my new shit is it's hitting like the old shit. And it reminded me that I have that skill that when I'm on.
Yeah, you have a special skill set.
I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm really good. I'm as good as.
It's good you went
I think
up
I'm
there.
as good as anybody.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, do let me know what you think of Bryan Callen and his comedy special in the comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.
So we have arrived to the end of the video, and here's my thoughts about it, right? I'll honestly say I haven't seen Bryan Callen's comedy special. I doubt that I'll like it. Last time I saw his other previous ones, they're quite boring. Now that how he is as a person, like I can see it reflect on his stand-up, and what I've seen him go through, it's not anything really good. He tries to be political. He had a political talk with this young guy, Luke Beasley, and he got destroyed. He doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. He's just trying to fit in this Austin bubble, and he doesn't even know what, like sort of like the I guess like how to be like a bad guy, like in that sort of way. Like you want to really trash the trans or whatever. He's not that type of bad guy. He just can't grift like other people can, and it shows, right? Like you can see the cracks in him, like the grift that he tries to do, and he tries to belong in this Austin edgy comedy scene. It doesn't go with him. He can't do that. He doesn't belong there. And it's funny to see, right? Joe Rogan can only do so much, right? The man is about to be 7 years old. He's not relatable anymore. He can't relate to anything. He chooses to be close-minded. What can I say? Like, yeah, like it's sad. It's a sad thing to see, man. Like, but anyway, guys, I'll let you go there. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys for another video. Bye-bye.